Hello everyone and welcome to the Switch It Up Nintendo podcast. I'm your host Wilson and joining me today is
Ben.
And this is the pilot episode of Switch It Up we'll be referring to.
We'll talk about general Nintendo stuff, specifically 9th generation as we move into that, and just some big video game news if we come across it.
So to begin, a recent article from Forbes has detailed a Switch Pro for June 2020.
Alright, so Takashi Mochizuki, a famed game journalist, quotes,
Quotation mark.
reporting for the Wall Street Journal, has quoted a Digitimes article that was made earlier this month, saying that Nintendo is reportedly planning to release in mid-2020 a Pro model of the Switch. This, given that he's very credible, suggests that it will come.
Which is, I kind of feel, and this is kind of the part where I'm
opinion time.
Opinion break. I really don't understand the purpose of a Switch Pro, because if the Switch Lite is already outperforming the current Switch, shut up. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a Game Boy style thing, or Switch not a home console, you want a Lite. But if you're looking for a home console, you want an actual Switch.
There's some things that the Switch could improve on, such as battery life. It could produce 4K running out of a dock.
Really?
It could. Imagine Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario.
That would look really good.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's a little interesting that they're going to release another Switch model within 3 years.
It's no joke. It's less than a year after the Switch Lite.
We're having another 3DS crisis, and I'm not really sure I like it.
The new Nintendo Switch XL 2DS edition.
That's I'm not really sure as to what it would improve. If anyone has watched any prediction videos or any of that kind of stuff, you may have seen people's takes on what the Switch Pro would look like, and really, it's still opinion time.
So, the article from Forbes is saying that it will provide 4K capabilities and will be priced at approximately half, so $400 American, the Xbox Series X, which is pretty good.
Really?
To produce 4K, a $400 system is really good.
I mean, Nintendo's not the type of company to overprice something that really shouldn't be. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers, but Microsoft is who I'm pointing fingers at.
Yeah, $650 Australian dollars for the Xbox One X is mad ting.
That's very cringe.
Hopefully, in my opinion, the Switch Pro should come Christmas, as that would sell like bananas.
Yeah, it would sell.
Or March 2021, so the 4-year anniversary of the Switch, because that would make more sense for an upgrade halfway through the console's life. Nintendo have suggested that they want the Switch brand to last upwards of 10 years, which is very impressive. A full decade.
I mean, Joy-Con drift's kind of preventing that right now.
Yeah, if Joy-Con drift, I don't have this up now, but there was the French Consumers Association or something like that actually ranked.
CSA.
Yeah, something like that, I don't know. They actually ranked the Nintendo Switch as the worst technological item of the decade.
Jesus, France
France
popping off.
Because of the Joy-Con drift, the waste of money that the Switch was.
I mean, what's really confusing me is how sudden it is. It's a little interesting that this very credible resource is kind of yeah, it's a thing. And it poses a lot more questions than answers at this point. What are the exclusives going to be? When are they going to touch on it officially?
Breath of the Wild 2, exclusive to the Switch Pro. I'd be down
that would be horrible. I'd have to buy another Switch.
My third. His second.
But, that could be a step in the right direction for Nintendo.
But let's look at it this way. The Switch Lite had a French company that made cases or something. France popping off out here.
France knows how to get Nintendo.
Yeah, so there was some company that were making cases for the Switch Lite about 3 months before its release. Wow. This is about 5 months before release. We're hearing links again. Chances are it's true, but you know what? I want them to unveil it at E3, not in some stupid
what about
YouTube video. Magfest is over.
Shush. I mean, E3 reveal would be ideal for them because E3 is like the big hype train. It's just, didn't Breath of the Wild not show up to E3 one year?
Breath of the Wild announced in, I'd say, like 2015, so...
It did come for the Wii U.
Oh, so that, I hate that. The Twilight Princess was an exclusive on Wii until about 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I think the Switch would actually have performed on launch maybe 100, like 1,000 consoles better, which isn't that much, but if this Breath of the Wild was an exclusive, or at least a launch exclusive... Pulling an Xbox here, I want it to be a launch exclusive.
But what would be interesting is... it makes you think, really, if it's going to be like a... What was it? There was that Xenoblade game on 3DS that was exclusive to the XL.
And the new 3DS XL, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, and also Fire Emblem Warriors, a Switch game, released on the new 3DS exclusively. It
makes me really worried that Nintendo's going to do that for the Switch Pro and just kind of water down the Switch and Switch Lite games, and that would make me pretty sad. Well, but again, there's only a very slim possibility of that happening.
I think that we'll see some very, like, imagine Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition 4K on Switch Pro exclusive.
I mean, everyone's going on a big rave about the 4K thing, and I guess later in the podcast we'll touch upon it in the Generation 9 console war.
8K, bang bang.
But once it's hard to explain and visualize here, but if one thing's got 4K, it's real special, but if everyone's got 4K, does it really mean anything?
Well, it doesn't, but if you're at 1080p and everyone else is at 8K, then you're screwed. When Nintendo went off the rails to go with
Derailed.
They derailed themselves by going for a gimmick over keeping up with the rest of the competition with the Wii U. The Wii. See, Nintendo's GameCube was as graphically advanced. In fact, it was actually slightly more graphically advanced than the PS2 and the original Xbox.
OG.
But when they went for the accelerometer, when they spent their money on the accelerometer for the Wii, they went for a gimmick that would hopefully grab audiences more than HD. And it worked out really well.
Yeah, they've done it twice before with... Well, I mean, maybe not as successfully with the Wii U. But, I mean, if it wasn't for the Wii...
We wouldn't be getting a Switch.
Yeah, Nintendo would have invested all of their stonks into...
Speaking of leaks, Emily Rogers, a very credible source in past for Nintendo...
Lion.
She basically predicted or leaked the actual Switch concept in 2015 when it wasn't even announced.
Switch Fusion?
Was NX. Oh, who remembers the NX days?
Yeah, Nintendo NX.
So, Emily Rogers has recently announced that in the upcoming Nintendo Direct, we didn't get any dates for that, but we will be seeing 2 new Wii U ports.
Oh, that's new information for me.
So, we'll be seeing the final 2 Wii U ports. Now, there's not that many.
Star Fox Zero!
Oh, that'd be a dream.
That would be incredible.
Is the audio loud enough?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Alright, so, here's what I'm thinking, right? We got 2. We don't have 1 and then 1. She's not saying she said there are 2 more Wii U ports planned out. Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD.
Really?
There's 2.
I mean, personally...
what if we got those 2 and Skyward Sword HD all in a bundle?
If we got Skyward Sword HD, I would be... What if we got every Zelda game ever HD?
Well, that's...
Imagine the original Zelda in, like, a FPS stuff.
First person
I think that one of the games will dead set, like, I have my heart set on it. 3D World.
But then
why would Nintendo not do that?
I don't know, Odyssey 2? I don't know. Did you see that, like, that post that they made?
The watermelon?
Mario Sunshine Hate. So I reckon
that hasn't been touched on for 3
3D
months.
World. Hear me out on here. Wii Party U.
Why?
I don't know. It's just funny.
I mean, the Luigi's Mansion minigame was fun. I probably spent more time on that than I did Dark Moon, so they can have that.
Luigi's Mansion. Oh, you're thinking Nintendo World. Wii Party U is an entirely different game.
Oh yeah,
Nintendo Land.
I wouldn't be Nintendo Land's a subject that I don't really touch on much.
Well, we're kind of veering off topic. Let's stay with Switch leaks. So
Switch Pro leaks. The date that it has been
there's no date, there's a month, which is June. So it's before the end of Q2 2020.
Which really boggles me, because while it's interesting that they wouldn't release it close to like holiday season to get all of the buys, because they're kind of putting it in a little niche area of the year.
Well, in my opinion, the Switch Pro has the same appeal that the Xbox One X has. People who want the best possible experience. It's not for the families who are upgrading from their Wii with Mario Kart Wii. That's the normal
Mario
Switch.
Kart Wii's
It's not for the people that travel a lot and don't really have a chance to set out the Switch Lite. It's for that really dedicated fan base that wants to see
the 1%.
The what? Oh, I'd say it's like the 10%.
The 10. Wow, alright, bold statement.
See, I want to see how many people, if 100% is the 50 million people that have already bought some form of the Switch.
Oh, fair enough.
So let's say theoretically, what percent of those people will have all three? So that means that they kept their original Switch when instead of trading it in.
I wouldn't. I mean, if they were really gonna do that, I say they. This is really me putting words in people's mouths. But why would, if they were that die-hard about it, why would they trade in or replace?
Well,
I'd say
the Switch Pro. Let's say either A, it's a fully docked system, or B, it's just a better normal Switch, right? There's no point keeping your original Switch for functionality purposes if you're getting a Switch Pro if it's a double, and if you're getting if the Switch Pro is a docked only thing or actually a home console, then you're actually better off not trading in your Switch if the Switch experience is what you're looking for.
I guess so. If there were 2 million people, 1% of 2 million is still a lot.
2 million?
Yeah, if there's 50 million people who bought the Switch.
Yeah, 50 mil. There'd be 500k people. 500k people owning all three systems.
That seems a little much. Like, that still seems too much.
I currently own both, and I'm a 13-year-old person living in Australia, which is an incredibly niche country. If I was living in New Zealand, that'd be different. They basically get no video games over there. Anyway, the point is, there's a lot of collectors out there who probably bought all three Switch Lite systems on release. So
even the grey one. Was that Discord? Hot damn.
Hot damn, I'm receiving Discord notice. How do I turn my video
Alright, time for me to keep talking here.
Look at the Yahoo stocks, guys. Those are banger Yahoo stocks right there.
Yahoo stocks on 0.
Yahoo stocks on 0.
But anyway, the Switch Pro is something that that one tweet has remained the same way, giving more questions than answers to anyone who is cursed with the knowledge of knowing what it is. So, for me, I am really not going to follow it keenly. I'm not really as interested.
Did you mod your Switch to play 4K anyway, even though that logically doesn't work out?
Shush. But, I mean, if people have the accessibility to all the 4K stuff, and it's very niche. I mean, people could say, I have a 4K TV, so I should get the Switch Pro. Yet the normal Switch is half the price. So
yeah, I reckon Switch Pro comes out. Normal Switch is going down for what's it now? Like 400, so it's like $350. And then the Switch Lite will be down to not 150.
Imagine $100 for a Switch Lite. That'd be incredible.
Yeah, but
this post is made by the Australian gang.
But remember that $100 Australian dollars is like 50 in American. Imagine them selling that. That's less than a game.
50. Oh, geez, you could buy Breath of the Wild or almost two Switch Lites.
Yeah. All right. So
moving on from the Switch Pro, our next point of discussion here is going to be the Pokemon Direct
discussion
coming tomorrow.
And predictions. I want to put this out there. I think it is dumb that they're doing a Pokemon Direct and not a standard Direct because it's only going to go for 20 minutes.
Everyone's hopes shot up for a January Direct and they were just shot down.
Well, I mean, we could still...
Curry on rice for Smash. Curry on rice for Smash. But, really, if there was one thing, because this is mainly predictions, we don't have much information on it except for it's a Pokemon Direct and it is tomorrow.
And it's got tomorrow at 1:30 in the bloody morning. I'm not getting enough of that.
Here in Australia, it's under 12 hours.
In America, it's actually at like 9:30 or something in the morning. So it's actually not that bad.
So my predictions, this is really... I don't think it's going to happen, knowing Nintendo, but if I have followed my heart and my dreams and my hopes, this is what's gonna happen. Something to do with Sword and Shield, something to do with a new accessory, and a remake of Diamond and Pearl.
Alright, so Gen 4 remakes, I think this close after Sword and Shield, they might be announced with someone saying or a logo.
Like Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4
We're all
reveal.
still bitter.
So, like, I'm thinking, like, Eternal Diamond and...
that's straight from Arlo's video.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. So...
Epic Diamond and Gamer Pearl. What about Ninja Pearl? But, that's really what I want from the Direct. Like, that, if it doesn't meet, like, a new remake, I don't see the point of it.
I'm seeing a 5-minute section on Pokemon Bank, which is I think it's like Pokemon Home, I think. I don't even know, but it's like basically a place you can place, a spot you can place all of your Pokemon from, like, I think it's like X and Y onwards into this spot on your Switch, or even, I think, a personal computer, and then you can transfer it into a new game. For example, where we're gonna reverse Exit. Yay!
Oh god.
Yeah.
I really don't understand what happened with... But, I mean, then, if you could get, like, X and Y, like, what's her name? Xerneas or Yveltal, the two legendaries.
Well, remember, there's actually a set... Are you talking about competitive? Because there's a set list.
No.
Just in the game.
Just, how would you get them in Sword and Shield? They're not in no decks. Would that just break it? It'd just crash your Switch forever. It makes me... If they were to do that, then they would probably have a substantial update to Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
And that's
Sword and
welcome.
Shield DLC. What if they made you pay to reverse Exit?
That would be cringe.
$5 for reversing Exit.
That would be cringe. But it does make me wonder about new Pokemon content that they're gonna bring.
Also,
to the table.
Pokemon Sleep.
Pokemon Sleep.
We love Pokemon Sleep.
Pokemon E.
Pokemon E and Pokemon F.
I mean, I feel like they have so much stuff to do with Pokemon. The director's gonna feel unneeded, but at the same time very cluttered because there's so much to cover.
Well, there isn't. There's like 2 things and maybe an announcement. So
maybe if there's no announcement, what's the point?
Will there be? Pokemon is a Nintendo thing. So will there be a Smash reveal at the end, or even better, a Pokemon Smash?
It would be Ditto for Smash.
Ditto's an
No, he's not.
I was about to say Ditto's an assist trophy.
Don't say Ditto's a Pokeball. No, he's not. My hopes and dreams are crushed.
Wigglytuff, Jigglypuff, Echo.
I mean,
alright, no. Hear me out here. The next Fighters Pass is a 5-fighter Echoes Fighters Pass. What's in it?
Are we gonna do this later? Alright, let's just.
No, this is like fifth. That's its 5th character. We're doing like general.
So the next Echoes, I'd say that they were dead set 100%. I cannot muster up the courage to tell Nintendo that they're poo-poo dum-dum for not including this in Ultimate. There 100% needs to be Pokemon trainers with different evolved starters from different generations.
Is that really an Echo Fighter?
Well, kinda. The starters would follow the same, like, kind of rule. The water one would be agile and, like, not as tanky. The grass...
All of them would be like... It's just first, second, third. It's not actually based on types.
Yeah. So, I'd say that a good form of action here would be Mudkip for the Squirtle replacement. Trico for the Ivysaur replacement. Not Trico. What's his mid-evolution name? I forget. Grovyle or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about like Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4 versions of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really Echoes because you have to create whole new movesets. Cyndaquil can't do Flare Blitz. At least not in the style of Charizard.
Fair enough. So, to take that back...
I'm saying Dixie Kong for Diddy Kong.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe something like... Maybe like... Donkey Kong Jr. for Funky Kong for Donkey Kong or something.
If Funky Kong was in Smash, I would cream my pants.
Maybe like a Toad Echo?
Toad Echo for who?
No, some character.
Toad is revealed for Smash in the Pokemon Direct.
Alright, so back to Pokemon Direct. Do you think that we'll get a separate reveal from Pokemon? Or do you think we'll be getting a separate Nintendo Direct later in the month /
There's no way they're going to do another Nintendo Direct in January.
It's not really a Nintendo Direct.
I don't see them doing that. I mean, I think the next major Direct is going to be an April Direct.
April Direct?
Yep.
So nothing for February, nothing for March.
Maybe a few Smash reveals for February.
Even though there's actually quite a bit of, the Smash character has to come out in February, but we'll get back to that. Animal Crossing, there's a lot of news we don't know. Like, if they're going to do a limited edition.
They better not.
Well, I'm going to buy it if they do.
Cringe.
Yeah, I have too much money probably.
Well.
Alright. 20 minutes, we're going to keep going. Okay, so, what else? Should we just move on?
Yeah, right.
We don't have much to talk about.
Alright. So, here's the bulk of the conversation here.
9th gen.
So, we're all going to give both of us are going to give our opinions, and we'd like to hear your opinions, either in the comments section of the video on YouTube you're currently watching, or in the comments bit, I guess, of any other platform that you are listening to this video.
Depending on how it works.
If you're watching this or listening to this, thank you in advance. But
there'll be like 5 people.
I'd like to hear everyone's arguments for who will win Generation 9 of consoles.
Well, Switch is kind of like Gen 8.5.
Shh. Switch Pro.
Switch Pro.
We could just legally say Switch Pro is in Gen 9. But the roster here, and there's one secret bit from me that you'll hear. PS5, Xbox Series X, or Switch.
Or say, I'm just going to put this out there. Theoretically, the Xbox Series X will not be the only console that launches. Maybe.
Yeah,
there's
Xbox
rumors
Scarlet.
that it might be an Xbox Series S.
That would be very cringe.
Which is a smaller, less expensive version of the Xbox Series X.
Last time I checked, there wasn't an S-axis.
Oh, they're not doing this on Xbox Series Y.
Xbox Y. But, what are your arguments, and who do you think will win the console wars of Generation 9?
Alright, so, my opinion, the Switch has almost run its course, depending on what games come out, but I think that the Switch will not win. The Xbox Series X has been confirmed to be the most powerful system. PS5 has stood up, but after the SES revealed a couple days ago, it's looking to be not the least powerful system. So, I think modern gamers are looking for powerful systems to try to compete with PC so they can get the best console experience. But the PlayStation 4 has had a crap ton of momentum, and the Xbox One failed miserably this generation. It lost to a system that came out 4 years after it came out. The Switch actually beat the Xbox One recently, surpassing 50 million units. And it just did that in 2 years. So the Xbox One failed miserably, and going into next generation, it's looking to beat the PlayStation 5, especially with the new improvements it's given up. While the Xbox Series X just looks to be a better Xbox One,
which is not what the consumers want.
The PlayStation 5 looks to be a new experience based off the previous
The PlayStation experience.
So here are my so those are kind of some of my arguments, but also Xbox Series X is going to be expensive as hell. 8K. Basically, it's a
$8,000.
8K.
8K. I'm joking.
It's looking to be a PC in a smaller PC that has a tower design and that sits next to your TV.
And looks like a Wii.
It looks like a PC in a Wii if you cross them. Anyway, the point is, it's looking to be, Australian-wise, I'm thinking upwards of $850.
So you're going to say...
I think the PS5 will be around $700, and despite the Switch Pro being around $400 American, so like $550 or something, I still think that the PS5 is going to carry its momentum at least for the beginning of the generation. If Halo Infinite turns out to be the best game of all time, then you can prove me wrong.
So out of those three, who do you believe will start Gen 9 the strongest?
Start Gen 9. I think if the Switch Pro comes out and like a long Breath of the Wild 2 or something, I'm saying the Switch Pro will lead in. But I think overall, out of the two new ones, the PS5 is going to go strong in.
So now for my argument, where I'm going to pull out my Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card and say PC.
PC is not part of the console race, but please continue.
But there is one point I read about it. I forget which article it is, but if you're on r/PC Master Race, you've heard this a million times before. The Xbox Series X has a few new components, and one of them is running 300 watts of power, meaning that it is now stepped out of the realm of an under 200 watt power system, which is referred to as a minor system. This means that it's stepping up, and consoles are usually related to minor systems. This means it's stepping up out of that with higher power usage. However, the PS5's hardware features for power remain unknown. Same with the Switch Pros. The Switch Pros are a bit of a mystery because if it is docked, a lot of things will be changed, like display, or perhaps they could do something new with it. However, PC's been there since the beginning. It was the Gen 0 and it's moving into the Gen 10 currently. And in recently owning a PC and recently doing a lot more things with a PC, I can say strongly right now that out of the current gaming market, the PC is definitely not the most affordable now. But if Xbox and Sony's prices keep accelerating at the way they are on launch, it'll get to a point where PCs are cheaper than consoles.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't think... There will be a point where consoles become more powerful, but consoles are meant to be a more affordable version of a gaming PC.
But when consoles are $700 and PCs are $900, the gap is
Since
swimming.
when was a good gaming PC that could produce...
This one that we're recording on right now, this video is sponsored by Thermaltake. I'm kidding.
No, it's not. So is that... that's a personal discussion for later.
It's going to get pretty heated.
You need to keep explaining why you think PC is going to win, even if it doesn't count.
I mean, Switch Pro will still have quite a strong opening, in my opinion. If it is released with something with the sheer shock and awe factor of Breath of the Wild 2 or Donkey Kong Barrel Blast HD. But I personally think that with all three of these consoles, or I should say competitors, moving in, each start is so strong that they're only missing out by a little bit, which is why I'd say that overall Xbox Series X is going to have the weakest start, followed by the PS5, followed by the Switch Pro.
But the Switch Pro isn't really starting because it has a full library of games, including, in my opinion, the best game of all time, Breath of the Wild, and at least one of the top 10 best games of all time, Mario Odyssey, as well as a decent, in inverted commas, Pokemon game.
You've never played The Witcher 3, have you?
I said Pokemon game. And also The Witcher 3 is on Switch, bro.
Oh, wow. Nani. But, if the Switch Pro does do the 3DS XL thing, then I'd be willing to classify it separate from the Switch, in my eyes.
As, like, a different system?
Like,
well, that would be the same as calling the Sega and the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD different systems. They're not really, they're just, Sega CD is an add-on, although different. Yeah.
Yeah, see? But,
it's the same as classifying the Switch Lite.
Gen 9's a bit niche because we're forgetting one thing. One factor that's going to change the way we think about
PSP
gaming
2
forever. It will seriously rock our world. And you know what it is? Google Stadia.
It will change the course of gaming history by failing miserably,
putting
Google out of business.
I'm going to say recently, 5 minutes ago, I said the Xbox Series X's launch will be bad. The Xbox Series X, even if it does have a bad launch, its launch will look godly compared to the Stadia.
Stadia's launch actually was
garbage.
It was okay.
It was big poo-poo.
It was okay. Like, it had Assassin's Creed, which is a terrible game, but it's mediocre at best.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag's lit. That's a different topic.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that the Xbox Series X will do terribly. With a game such as Halo Infinite launching, we have no idea if a good game is launching with the PlayStation 5 that we're aware of. So...
You do make a fair point. But it's really down to how the company handles it. Like, everyone remembers Sony's 2018 E3. That was a doozy. The man playing the flute, so much to remember.
Who remembers Sony's 2019?
No one does.
Because it didn't happen.
But, as long as every single business competitor's take on it works, I mean, it's a good idea, and I think they will all benefit. So, now that the Gen 9 discussion has been rounded off and ended with a
maybe.
a big fat maybe. It's time to move on to the one big factor that I think we should do every episode of the podcast. A new Smash prediction.
Has to be approved, by the way.
Has to be big fat approved.
The podcast has to be approved.
That's fine. So, Smash so the 5th fighter in the Fighters Pass. In my opinion, I have a lot of evidence backing up that there's one character in particular. Well, not really a lot of evidence, just a lot of and this happened, and they must be correlated.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright is going to be the 5th DLC character, without a doubt, in my opinion. Because, in the words of the almighty Junkie Janker, who else can they add? I don't see as to...
Honestly,
Honest to God. We're getting down to earth break.
Bandana Waddle Dee will not happen. A lot of people are saying Bandana Waddle Dee
I agree.
will happen, but it's going to be a third-party character. In my opinion, there are a couple options here.
Objection.
Gino.
Gino is what everyone wants.
Phoenix Wright.
Yay.
Master Chief, but I don't think this will happen.
Master Chief.
I think this will happen in the second Fighters Pass. And finally... Honestly, Waluigi is definitely a possibility.
Really? He's an assist. I could make my own little podcast on why Waluigi would never get into Smash, but I'd cry the whole time because inside I would really want it. But it's not really. We're not sure because ever since the infamous Grinch leak, we've never been sure as to which leak is calling BS or actually being legit. There was that one leaker, I forget their name, but they predicted the entire K. Rool and Banjo reveal, down to and he pulls off the disguise to reveal that it was King Dedede the whole time.
And he pulls out the disguise to reveal that the real K. Rool's the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god. That's a little something for everyone. But, I don't really, it's a subject that we're not totally sure about yet. No one's fully grasped it. Was that the Wii Shop channel?
No, it was the Meme Maker theme.
It was the Meme Maker theme. We probably have some background music on now, post-editing crew. But,
Squad.
There is... No one can really be sure about the Smash stuff going on. However, people can predict and we have no idea what their sources are and whether their predictions are reliable or not. But they have predicted things scarily true. 2 examples. One of them being the person who predicted the K. Rool, Banjo, and Joker reveals I was talking about but forgot to mention Joker. And the other being, I don't think this person would go out of their way to blackmail Nintendo to get sources, but Arlo, everyone knows Arlo, right? He's that YouTuber. He predicted just about the new Animal Crossing,
New Horizons, but that was pure prediction. That wasn't a leak or anything.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder really because the people at Nintendo are doing a damn good job keeping this information in.
Except Ubisoft, who leaked the entirety of Mario plus Rabbids.
Maybe Nintendo should just stop with Ubisoft. Oh, they did. Whoopsies.
Yeah, whoopsies.
I was actually, this is off topic. I was reading a gaming article, and at one point down the track of this podcast, I'm gonna have a chat about how I think game journalists are total whack, utter garbage. But I was reading this article on the top 50 games of all time. I was like, it's someone else's opinion. I'll take it with a pinch of salt. And I found that it was just the one person. I'm like, good, because if there's a person if there's a big group,
if the entirety of IGN decide their top 10 games of the decade, then
you couldn't really know who it was. It's not the entirety of IGN. But I was reading it, and funnily enough, this came up. Cuphead came up 30th on the list. I'm like, well, Cuphead's great. And my problem with it was that they were so vague. There was no reasoning. It was like, Cuphead is number 30 because it is. There was no reasoning behind it. It just moved straight on to number 29. And I remember very distinctly that Owlboy came 28th. And I mean, Owlboy's developers, I think there were only 3 people, are doing such a good job. And it goes to show that the competition between them is not like gut-wrenching, like, I hate you too. It's like, we are both working our whole lives on this, and we're doing good, and we're getting recognized. And I remembered that Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle was number 9, and me just thinking, that's an insult to Owlboy and Cuphead. Portal 2 was like 40 on the list. And Fortnite was like number 2, and I just thought, wow.
Well, it has had a big impact. Yeah, it's actually, we hate on popular games because they're popular. But like, Fortnite isn't a bad game. Far from it. It's a decent game. It's got decent mechanics. The building is a relatively new idea combined with the shooting.
The pew-pews.
But we hate on it for being popular.
I hate on it because of its fan base.
Yeah, its fan base is little children.
9-year-olds.
It's the PewDiePie army all play Fortnite. Anyway, the game is okay. The way they get money out of people is not okay, and it's borderline gambling.
I stole my mum's credit card.
I do. Poggers, I just maxed out my mum's credit card. Fat dab.
Hit that dab. I mean, what I don't like about the
what was
things
number
like
1? Was
IGN,
it Minecraft?
Yeah, of course it was.
What a great game.
What I don't like about things like IGN and Screen Rant, and maybe not Game Explain, because Game Explain doesn't really do this kind of stuff. If they give their own opinions, the people who make the games are going to give them whack. Like, if IGN said Fortnite was bad, Epic could just cancel everything from them. And they have that pressure because they've been given review copies. If anyone here's watched Donkey's video on Game Critics, this is probably sounding very familiar. I share very similar viewpoints, and you should definitely go check that video out. But again, off topic from the Game Critic rant, I will definitely rant about that in a future episode for 4 hours if I wanted to.
Future episode? Who said we were getting off the ground? We don't have fun.
If you're listening to this on Apple Music, we
succeeded.
succeeded.
It's actually Apple Podcast.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, it shows we've succeeded.
We've actually, I somehow managed to convince Google that our podcast is validated, and it's totally original, which it isn't.
Shh. But, I want to, maybe just wrap it up in a bun here, talking about something that we did not think we were going to make points about today. By the way, this entire podcast is not scripted. It is an unscripted podcast, as you can tell by my horrible rambling and waffling, and just a lack of Englishes. But I want to end it on talking about something that's kind of going to change things. It's very late, but at the Game Awards, Sakurai was like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time... No, not the Game Awards, sorry, the
Japanese Game Awards.
Japanese Game Awards, whoops. He's like, thank you for giving Smash Bros. So much stuff. I am very happy with how it's turned out. This is very loose. And I'm going to be spending so much time on Smash Bros. Now. What's the future of Kirby going to be like?
Non-existent. Star Eyes didn't... Oh, Star Eyes actually did okay, but a lot of people...
I bought them on launch.
I bought it day after launch. Like, the only games I bought... Like, off topic a bit, the only games I bought on launch
Everyone, because you're...
Mario Maker 2.
Same.
3 Houses, I think. I bought Astral Chain on launch. Link's Awakening on launch.
We can't mention Astral Chain. That has no words.
That has no words. Bad Christian words. Anyway... Astral Chain, Link's Awakening, and Dr. Kiwashima's Brain Training for Nintendo Switch. Oh. Excuse me, what is that?
My Overwatch notifications are popping off. But, it makes me really wonder, because, you know how there were those waves of stylized characters? We've been missing one for 3 months.
Yeah, the game's done. The last wave.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Kirby.
We might get like a spin-off or something.
He's gonna get out of F tier. He's gonna get his life together, and he's gonna become competitive
Smash. Alright, we've almost hit the 40-minute mark, which is approximately how long an average Nintendo Power podcast goes for.
We are not stealing any content.
This content is
original. But just before we sign off here,
I'm gonna turn off my light.
This is our first episode of Switch It Up, a Nintendo podcast. And if you are hearing this, we do appreciate you listening to the end.
All 10 of you.
All 10 of our viewers. And we hope that you'll leave feedback, whether it's criticism of our show.
And also, we are going to do a segment in the next couple shows, and every show from this point onward, called Q&A, questions and answers. You guys can provide...
I'll get to that. Make sure to, even if you do leave criticism, like not constructive criticism, like a 1-star review, I implore you to show your reasoning, and maybe you won't come back, but it will give us an opportunity to fix our show, to improve. And to all of you listening on YouTube, there is a comment section down below, and if you guys do have more suggestions for stuff, like maybe
leave it there, or tweet me at MarioFan99. I think that's what it is.
We'll leave all of the stuff in the description.
At Mario_fan99. That's the only place that I receive so many notifications.
But if you guys want to see us talk about stuff, you guys can go on Twitter, go on Instagram, go on to the Apple Podcast section or the SoundCloud section.
If we manage to do that.
Yeah, or go on to the YouTube comments. Send us questions or topics to discuss, and we will do it. I mean, if there's an overwhelming amount of them, which I highly doubt, considering
there's going to be like 3, Will.
3 whole viewers and 1 comment. But if you guys do want to see us talk about certain things, please ask, because I mean, this has only been a 40-minute episode. Please ask, we're desperate. But if you guys, smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Hit subscribe, and remember, max out your mum's credit card, or you're a loser.
But do take the L. Remember to stay tuned for future episodes. This is our pilot, so we're not sure how the reception of this is going to fare, and we're not sure the schedule of recording these.
Hopefully fortnightly or monthly, depending on Nintendo news.
Yeah, maybe and if the reception is so well and we get so many questions, we could just do it fortnightly and fuel episodes with not enough Nintendo news on just the Q&As.
Or we could do retro discussions, but that's a topic for another
That's a topic that I want to cover. But if this episode does do well, make sure if you're listening to this, share with your friends who might be interested. Don't force them to watch anything.
We do not support torture or war in any way, shape, or form.
We don't support pinning someone down to a wall or a floor and forcing them to listen to this.
That's probably what we're doing to the 2 people that are listening to this.
The 2 people
Thank
in
you,
our
2
basement.
people,
But if you guys do think people would enjoy this, make sure to share, make sure to like, and again, leave criticism or reviews. And I guess we're signing off now. We'll see you in the next podcast.